President Trump finds a way to single me out, and Sid Rosenberg's the greatest. He's the best. Doesn't matter. It could be 500 people there. He sees me, and that's it. The whole night stops. Did it again. But part of the moment, the great moments of that night, included my friend Christopher Macchio singing. I remember being at Bruce Blakeman's inauguration, 2 months ago, after he won his second consecutive Nassau County executive seat. And Chris sang that night, too, and he just completely wooed the crowd. He's amazing. He is President Trump and Sid Rosenberg's favorite tenor. So it turns out that Chris was bestowed this honor of singing America the Beautiful Sunday at the World Cup Final between Argentina and Spain. And he did it before the game, and my good friend Dan Scavino taped it, put it on Twitter, which is great. And then halftime came, and I never saw Chris. I get a text from Uncle Louie, our good buddy Louie Gregory. He goes, they didn't play it. I go, they didn't play it. What? So with that said, here he is, America's tenor, the very handsome Christopher Macchio. Good morning, pal.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's a real pleasure.
It's great to see you as always. You're such a sweet guy. So what exactly happened? You showed up on Sunday. You actually taped it before the game, right?
Well, no, actually, it was supposed to be live. I sang it live. I was right after Post Malone. And it was part of what they call the closing ceremony, but that quote-unquote closing ceremony takes place before the game. And they had, a few different artists as part of that closing ceremony, including, of course, actor Tom Cruise, who I hung out with for a while in the green room backstage.
That'd be cool, no?
So, it was really cool. He was so nice. Yeah. I was ready to, do the Need for Speed thing, Top Gun. Yeah. And, he was great. And so all the artists were backstage, but, I was I was one of only 3 live performances throughout the entire World Cup season, and they showed everything except for my performance.
So
on the television.
the people, there was about 80,000 at Giant Stadium that day. So they saw you.
They loved it.
The President Trump saw you, Lara saw you, but the billion or more people that watch it at home on TV like me, we never saw you.
Well, there were a lot of international feeds that actually showed it. So the international broadcasters, a lot of them actually put it out. FIFA, I was very grateful to FIFA for having me, and to Gianni Infantino and President Trump and Andrew Giuliani for, making it happen. But unfortunately, the actual broadcast, the live broadcast, they cut away from after Post Malone was finished, and they did not put America the Beautiful. And this was a tribute to America. This was a moment of patriotism, celebrating America 250. That was why I was there. That's why Gianni Infantino put me. That's why President Trump and Andrew Giuliani put me there. And so I was a little disappointed, to say the least, that it didn't end up finding its way on the live broadcast. They had some commentators talking over it and so forth.
Over it, yeah. Well, I'm pissed. I'm not just so aggravated. I'm pissed. Why do you think Fox did that?
I really can't speculate as to what their motivations were from an editorial standpoint. All I could tell you is that live performances, especially the kind that I deliver, are just so rare. Like I said, it was really me and Zach Brown. That was it. Everything else during the entire World Cup, it was all just studio recordings. I was the live performance. And you always want to hear the magic of a live performance. And so I really hope that down the line going forward, that these networks take heed and make sure that all of the live music, when it does happen, is carried live to the audiences around the world.
I was happy to see President Trump put out the Truth Social about your great performance.
He's so generous.
He was so great. And again, Dan Scavino put your effort on Twitter. That was amazing. But was President Trump pissed when he found out that they actually didn't have you singing live on TV?
You know what? I can't really speculate. I could tell you that when I did the White House in 2020, the RNC didn't want me to sing after a speech. They wanted me to sing before a speech. And he specifically told them, I want Christopher to sing after I deliver the acceptance speech. Well, they bumped me to before when no one was paying attention. So when I was watching President Trump deliver his acceptance speech, Secret Service came over and they said, President Trump wants you to do your entire musical set all over again, because President Trump, in my belief, wanted to make sure that that musical moment was carried. And instead of leaving the stage, he and the entire First family lined up and made sure that the networks covered that entire musical set. And for that and many other things, I'm extremely grateful to our President Trump.
I have to know, because you are magnificent. You are. You're a great, great, great singer. And he loves you, so do I. But when did this whole thing start, this relationship between you and President Trump?
I first met him for New Year's Eve in Mar-a-Lago in 2015, but we really made a very special connection at a very solemn occasion for his brother Robert's funeral in 2020. And he was kind enough to give me a standing ovation in the middle of that service. It was a 2-hour service. I sang 10 pieces in tribute to his wonderful brother. And, he really had a special relationship with his brother, and then he developed a particularly special relationship with me as an artist.
I think one of the reasons why he loves me so much is because I had difficulties, that's even a nice way of saying it, with drugs and alcohol. And he lost Robert, and he has no patience for that type of stuff. So seeing me win this battle and succeed in life, I think that's part of the reason why President Trump appreciates me.
And he had a very special relationship with Robert, and Fred was, of course, also another brother of his that had suffered from, from alcohol abuse.
Died from all that, right?
Yeah. And so,
not Robert, right.
and I think that I share President Trump's aversion to all kinds of drugs and alcohol. I from a personal and a vocal health standpoint, I just stay away, and I think that's probably for the best for everybody.
100%. So, what is next for you, and what's the next big gig?
Well, I'm very excited to announce that they're putting me on to sing the national anthem and maybe even a few other songs for the Grand Prix of Washington, D.C., America 250 or Freedom 250. We're really celebrating America through the streets of Washington, D.C. And, of course, I'm particularly excited at this racing-related opportunity because I, myself, have a racing pedigree, having been a trained race car driver.
No kidding.
In my youth, yeah.
Where was that?
My father ran Bridgehampton Race Circuit out in the Hamptons, and then I trained all over the country, really, and in Formula, open wheel style. Like this is like the entry level that where you would eventually get to Formula One if you were good enough. I was not good enough for Formula One, but I really, really loved driving fast. I've got the speeding tickets to prove it.
It's a great sport, and they love America. Those guys, all those race car
they
drivers,
are patriots.
Oh, they're
the Andretti family
of every sport, right? They're the best. The best. All right. Well, you can't leave these studios. I know it's a cappella. They got no music behind you. But being that you are the greatest tenor in the world, and Fox just screwed you, I'm not going to screw you. I'm going to give you an opportunity with 1 million listeners right now, listening all over the world, from Tel Aviv to Miami to New York City. You get to pick. You want America the Beautiful? You want God Bless America? You want the Star Spangled Banner? You get to pick.
Well, I guess I might as well do a little bit of the what a lot of folks in this country at least missed on Sunday. So. And crowned thy God with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea, America, America, America.
God, you are something else.
Oh, thank you very much.
How old were you when you figured out that, I can really do this, I'm really good at this?
I kind of figured it out at 13, tried to keep it a secret, and at 15, the secret got out, and everything changed after that.
So you've been performing ever since you're 15 years old?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
That's amazing.
But, it's not an easy road, and my career really only started 15 years ago. And I'm just extremely grateful for the opportunity to connect with people all across the country and now the world through the beauty of music.
Last one, Trump has you everywhere, he does. But the problem is, and the scary part is, he's almost done, which is going to be a horrible day for all of us here in America when President Trump really walks away in 2 years, and that'll be it. Hopefully Marco Rubio will be next, but I can't guarantee you that. Either way, do you have like a lifetime deal with Republicans to sing?
Well, I certainly hope so. I've put in a lot of dues, and honestly, I could tell you, and I've got the photos to prove it, I've been a lifelong Republican since I was 9 years old, okay? That's 1987, and, I'm still going strong. I've been waiting for a president like President Trump all my life. I was hopeful with Bush. It didn't quite turn out the way President Trump was turning out. I mean, he's really the best president that we've ever had in all 250 years of this nation's great history. And I'm just so privileged to have such a close role in all of this at this moment in history. I'm so grateful to President Trump, and I'm also grateful for you and people like you doing what you do, putting that patriotic spirit out there and giving a platform and a voice to folks like me. I really appreciate it.
You do, and I can feel the sincerity. God bless you. That is the ultra-talented Christopher Macchio. There's not an event I go to for the great president. I agree with you, the best that Christopher doesn't sing, and we're lucky to have Christopher. He's an amazing singer, a great patriot, and a terrific human being. Chris, God bless you, buddy. Thank you so much.
God bless you, too.
Okay. That's Christopher Macchio right there.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?